Welcome back to PlayStation Livecast. I am joined by Shawn Layden, President and CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment of America. Welcome, Shawn.
Thanks, Sid.
So good to have you on the show. So obviously you were on stage the other night at the PlayStation E3 2014 press conference, and I want to say you know your games.
well, there's certainly a lot of them at that press conference. I think we must have had over 30 or 35 games on display, but it was a great, strong lineup. I think going into year 2 for PS4, we are more than well positioned for that.
I loved your shout out to Mortal Kombat. Obviously had a kind of a gut-busting stage debut there, first gameplay. You have a little bit of a history with Mortal Kombat.
Well, I think I mentioned on the stage that was one of the first games I worked on when I was at SCE Japan back at the start of my career. We localized that content. We licensed it from, I think it was Midway at the time, who owned the IP. We brought that to the Japanese market. We localized it into Japanese, but it was really tough to get it off the ground. At that time in PS1, it was all about Tekken. And bringing
I love Tekken.
I love it too, but they also had a game like Toshinden where you had weapons and it's a fighter. But Mortal Kombat was just a bit OTT for the Japanese gamer at that time. Pulling the spinal column out was really caused us some issues there.
Now, you have an extensive background in game production and things like that. Despite being president and CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment America, what, with your gamer's eye, what are you seeing? What is really grabbing your attention this year at E3?
Well, I'm hoping to spend some time on the booth and on the floor today, frankly. The last 2 days have been crazy. But in the press conference, I got to tell you, going through the rehearsals and seeing the demos and everything looked beautiful, and like Uncharted 4, that would just knock you off your chair. But for me, what really grabbed me was No Man's Sky.
I'm hearing that all over the place.
Well,
that seems to be one of the big takeaways.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I was talking to Shawn Murray, I think he's the principal at Hello Games. He's telling me there's like 4 guys who put that entire game together where they create an infinite number of procedural worlds and missions and characters and rocks through their algorithm and through their engine. It's an amazing achievement, and I'm looking forward to seeing that game come out and what we can do with that.
It's a stellar achievement. It's a very small team, but they weren't the only guys there. I mean, we hear a lot about indie development these days. I think PlayStation's been very leading the pack in that front.
Certainly.
We saw some really good stuff from Devolver, too.
The Devolver Digital stuff?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah, it's like, we're 16-bit and we're loving it.
Yeah.
They really killed it in that area. Of course, Adam Boyce, our VP of TPR, he really is in that community. He is of that ilk. And he's able to find those developers, find those projects, bring them in. I thought that stuff was amazing. But we have some stuff inside, too. You saw Entwined. That was shown on the stage. That was it's a joint development between some graduates of Carnegie Mellon and some graduates of San Jose State. That is a completely fresh take on gaming. That's why the indie movement is so important for us. We have to continue to bring new ideas, new people into the gene pool, if you will, to keep it fresh, keep it new, and bring stuff like Entwined and No Man's Sky to the field.
Outstanding, yeah. Obviously, just a ton of games in general. It feels like it's just software overload this year.
Well, we do have an embarrassment of riches, you might say. But I've been talking to a lot of the press the last couple of days, and other partners in publishing have been very complimentary about our press conference that we had on Monday night. But what they did say is, you guys have the range. It's not just deeply in the hardcore, though we do have that. Nothing's more serious than Bloodborne. Right?
Yeah, I can't wait for that one.
Wow, okay. But we also have from there to Destiny, which is going to be probably, we hope we will make it, the biggest hit of the year, down to, again, to things like No Man's Sky and Entwined. And you know what I was happy about at the press conference? The big applause for Little Big Planet 3.
Yeah, that looked good.
Yes, Sackboy still brings it, and everybody wants a piece of that. I was delighted to see that still resonates with our audience.
Have you played Grim Fandango?
Way back in the day.
Yeah?
I'm thinking, did I play that on Mac? Did it come out on Mac? I think it did. Yeah, and I was so stoked to see that Schafer's going to bring that out to PlayStation. That's going to be fantastic. And I think, when you talk about those sorts of things, our gaming culture is filled with so much content, so many great vaults of content that we need to remake it to bring it out again. I mean, in movies, right? You can go buy a copy of The Godfather tomorrow, or buy a copy of The Maltese Falcon, or you can get Dylan's Blonde on Blonde, or Miles Davis Steps Ahead. But every time we change a platform, we need to find ways to resurface that content, or else it's just lost to the sands of time.
Absolutely. I love that sort of philosophy of back catalog management. And I'll tell you, I'm in the audience demographic, the target demographic for Grim Fandango. I always wanted to play it, and I never could because it was so old. It's like, PC, it's like, it's a nightmare trying to get something like that set up in today's day and age. I am so happy that's coming to PS4 and PS Vita. Couldn't be more excited. Shawn, I think we're just about out of time.
All right.
But
great.
thanks so much for joining us, of course.
PlayStation